So Bill Maher had Amy Klobuchar on his show, and he really, really embarrassed himself here by fawning over her to her face. And he made a claim that was so absurd, even Amy knew it was absurd. Watch this video.
The reason I thought you'd be such a good candidate last time, I remember.
Well,
I know.
I did
For a minute, you were like, you came on, you went up there, and then Biden.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And, but is that you're an honest broker, I feel, in the party between the progressive wing and there's no non-progressive wing in the Democratic Party. It's just, well, a couple.
Yeah.
Yes,
So there are a lot of moderates that work across the aisle and things in the Democratic Party. There's certainly moderates out there in the country.
Moderate for the Democratic Party, which is pretty far left. And
so I figure you just got to do your work. You know, well, for me, like I'm taking on the tech companies. I'm doing that with liberal Democrats and conservative Republicans.
Right. He said the Democratic Party is pretty far left, and there is no non-progressive wing of the Democratic Party. And Amy Klobuchar herself was like, Bill, what? There's no non-progressive wing of the Democratic Party? There's no progressive wing of the Democratic Party. The furthest left we go are social democrats, which is like internationally moderate. There's no like open people who are elected who are openly Marxist, for example. No openly elected anarchists, Marxists, pick any strain of interesting left-wing thought that's actually left-wing, market socialist, anarcho-syndicalist, whatever. There's none of them elected. AOC and Bernie, who are probably the go-to of that's really the left flank. They might describe themselves as democratic socialists, but when they actually explain in detail, hey, here's what my philosophy is, they are social democrats. In other words, they're not fully post-capitalist. They're a hybrid. They allow for elements of capitalism within the system, much to the chagrin of many people on the left. There's no non-progressive. What's Joe Manchin? He voted with Trump over 50% of the time. Does that not count as not progressive? Does that not count? Kyrsten Sinema just took nearly $1 million from Big Pharma and then killed lower drug prices. That was her main thing, is definitely don't lower drug prices in the Build Back Better bill. You going to call that progressive, Bill? Is that what that is? Is that progressive? We just got word that Kyrsten Sinema she's now graduated from just taking pharma cash to taking literal pyramid scheme cash. She's taking money from frauds, from people who do pyramid schemes. They're called multi-level marketing firms, which is, again, watch the great documentary that's out there on, what's it called? The pants that a lot of housewives wore, LuLaRoe, I think it's called. Phenomenal documentary. It's either on I think it's on Hulu. Who are you kidding? And so even his setup to talk to Amy Klobuchar was pathetic. You're an honest broker between the left flank and the so-called moderates. She's an honest broker. What are you talking about? Bill Maher, here's how pathetic Bill Maher is. I'm not kidding when I say he is probably the only person in the entire country who went from being a Bernie supporter in 2016 to a Klobuchar supporter in 2020. Who's a Bernie to Klobuchar voter? What fucking pipeline is that? Bernie to Klobuchar? Ideologically, they are so incredibly different. But you know what? I say, who the hell does that? I'll answer. Somebody whose brain is broken by Trump. Because a lot of people, when they saw Trump, they got pushed in a much dumber direction where they thought, just give me generic Democrat. Because generic Democrat is safe to beat Trump. But Hillary was a generic Democrat. That was her problem. Now, look, Joe beat Trump. Joe, admittedly, is a standard generic Democrat in many ways. But look, that's all the more reason why we could have had Bernie and should have had Bernie, because Bernie was polling over Trump in 2016. He was polling over Trump in 2020. And he was really the safe option because he was different than the thing that we knew failed in 2016. We knew that mold of Democrat failed in 2016. In 2020, we tried the same experiment, and Joe barely won at a time when there was a historic pandemic and an imploding economy. What does that tell you? How about that? What does that tell you? And there's no long-term strategy that's just generally anti-Trump. Anyway, I digress. But Bill Maher, geez, he keeps hitting us with incredible low IQ takes. He went from Bernie to Klobuchar. He liked Klobuchar because she's, quote, an honest broker. And he thinks there's no non-progressive wing of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is, quote, pretty far left. Oh, is it? Oh, is it? What am I going to do with this guy? It's time to send him out to pasture. Come on, Bill. Wrap it up. Go lay on a beach in Boca Raton or some shit. That's where you belong. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.